I'm Tony Trongone, Superintendent, Millville Public Schools, here to provide another edition of the Weekly 3 with Tony T. Today's session obviously will be three topics. It'll be an update on the protocols for our football game. Second will be a follow-up on our Week of Respect. And finally, an update on COVID-19 and the protocols we're putting in place for testing as per the governor's executive order. First topic will be the protocols for our football game against Hamilton on Friday, October 8th, this Friday. We had to put them in for several reasons. Number one is for the safety of our students and obviously our families. After evaluating the events that happened during the September 24th game against St. Augustine, in concert with the Millville Police Department, we were forced to put in more stringent security measures. Regarding the details of the protocols, the press release that was sent out this week is listed in the link below. And if you have any questions, please reach out to our athletic department for any clarification or any questions you might have as far as our protocols for the Hamilton game on October 8th at 6 o'clock. That being said, we'll look at this as a formative process where we'll learn more about what we need to do during the Hamilton game so we can have a more inclusive event for all of our Millville community during football games. But given the information we have and evaluating the game against St. Augustine regarding security, we have to start at this particular level of security and then work our way to, again, a more inclusive environment. So please know that we're evaluating every game, and our goal is to have the playoff games and also the Vineland-Millville game be more inclusive. But again, your safety, our kids' safety obviously would be number one. Our family safety and the community are paramount. So we have to make sure that we have our act together and we have everything crossed and dotted, and then we can expand going forward. So again, this is a formative process. And as we move forward, word will get out to you all. Topic is October is Wellness Month, and the first week in Wellness Month deals with the Week of Respect. And so you can see there's a calendar of themed events at the elementary and secondary level, and they're all geared towards respect and responsibility and treating each other with respect. But also, these activities build a sense of community within the school. It's nothing new, you know that. But we want to emphasize that with our kids during this week. But also, it is timely since we're all going through now in the pandemic and addressing the social, emotional needs of our students and staff. So we captured some of those moments for the Week of Respect. But looking forward to week 2 in our October Wellness Month will be a wellness week. And we have a preview of some of the activities that are going to take place in the second week. Our third topic deals with COVID-19 and the governor's executive order. Part of that executive order is testing, but not only testing for the adults in our learning community, but also there are protocols that we have to follow regarding COVID-like symptoms. I want to clarify the difference between COVID-like symptoms and being a positive case. So you actually know that someone gets tested and they're a positive case of COVID. Set that aside. What the Department of Health has provided school district are symptoms that we must exclude kids from school if they possess those types of symptoms. The Department of Health tells us that if they have these particular symptoms, that the students must quarantine. And our nurses have been very busy in identifying the students that have these symptoms and they have to exclude. Again, it's not the Millville Public Schools rule. It is the rule coming from the Department of Health. And that's been the bigger lift for us, not the positive cases, but the COVID-like symptoms. And so our goal is to get the kids back in school as soon as possible because the rule says they have to quarantine for a number of days. So we're building capacity with testing pods where we can have you bring your child to this particular pod and get tested right away, get the results so we can get them back in. It sounds simple and we're trying to simplify it, but again, if we build that capacity where you can take your child to this particular pod in district, we have one that's located right next to Wheaton Field, across the street in the maintenance garage parking lot, and also at the Wood School. You can go there and get your child tested, and then they get the results. You should get it immediately, but at least within 24 hours. And then if it's negative, we can get your child back into school immediately and not wait the 14 days. That's if they possess a COVID-like symptom. In closing with this topic, I don't make up the rules. The Board of Ed doesn't make up the rules. We have to follow the rules as a public school entity. So what we're trying to do is provide the services so we get kids back in school as soon as possible, so we can have teaching and learning going on for our kids on a daily basis. So please understand, we're doing our best to mitigate kids being out of school and being in school every day. And for a shout out, I want to give a shout out to our administrative team, particularly our principals and assistant principals at our schools. It hasn't been an easy road for anyone in education across the United States and in New Jersey. But that being said, we're getting deeper into the school year already, and I'm just proud of their efforts. We know that each day brings a different challenge, and they've been up to the challenge every day. So I want to thank them for their efforts and for their foresight and problem-solving skills. Thank you. And my second shout-out goes to Tina Banashek and Jen Panis. We're going to be heading into our second week in October, in our October Wellness Month. And it takes a lot of planning and cooperation and communication amongst our schools. So our Millville Public Schools is a cohesive unit, and we try to work together in providing the support for our children and our staff. And again, this has been easy times, so it's really timely that Wellness Month in October. In last week's session, I talked about the fact that we go through a honeymoon period in September, and then all the things kind of fall in place with routines, and there's a little bit of friction. There's also a little bit of anxiety from students being back together after so many months not being back together, and then the staff also addressing that. So again, it has been easy. So putting these efforts in place are help to mitigate any type of anxiety or any angst, and kudos to them for planning that out. Also with our executive director for Exceptional Children, Steve Matus, and our supervisor for counseling, Kim Hallenbach. Thank you. And as a reminder, Friday, October 8th is a staff in-service day, so there'll be no school for students. And also Monday, school is closed for Columbus Day, October 11th. And as always, go Bolts.